And welcome everyone to Banana Bread Trades. Oh, we're doing a little late night stream here. I chose late at night because if this is bad, I'm just going to delete it and then no one will ever know what happened. So I just wanted to go over a few different random market things and then kind of give my bias and why I have a bias and when I will know when to change my bias in this current, what I call bull market, right? It's kind of looking at the longer time frame chart, we're making higher lows and higher highs. So we'll go ahead and break down kind of the CPI, PPI situation. If you guys got any questions, feel free to comment down below. And I'm just going to work through this stuff. So first things first, what we got on our chart here is we put in one hell of a bottom, and we can look on our volume profile here and we can really see that we have a beautiful looking taper. This is an absolutely beautiful taper. We left nice clean bottom and we really haven't even considered going back since. I know we've been in an infinite range here for a while in this 4,000 area, but when you look at this volume profile, this is drawn back all the way to the beginning of the bear market. And you notice as we get to the bottom, everything's tapering off. There's less and less interest in what's going on near that low, right? And all of a sudden we're accumulating all of these buyers here kind of towards the middle, and that's where we've been. Now, what's going to be interesting to happen or to notice happen next is, do we break out of this range? Do we make a new high? We pulled our POC higher, right? We pulled it up to this next node at the top. And one of two things is going to happen. We're either going to rotate back down to the bottom of the range, which would be inconvenient, or we can break above and we can actually see a real bull market taking place. And I'm going to go through kind of why I think we might have a bull market going through. And apologies, I'm losing my voice. It's late. So let's go ahead and kind of look at what releases we've had this week, and one of them being CPI coming down. This is good news, right? These releases that I'm going to be going through, if you watched my previous CPI breakdown video, it's all kind of going according to the Fed's plan, right? The CPI is tapering at an efficient rate, PPI is tapering at an efficient rate, unemployment is coming up. Like, this is all going perfectly according to plan. So what does that mean? That means by midsummer, as we talked about in the video, we're just going to be in bull run summer market, which is just right around the corner. So yeah, as you can see, it got real choppy there for a bit with our CPI being kind of wishy-washy. It wasn't really coming down strong, but now we have kind of a clear sign that it really is coming down. And now, as you can see from the comments that we've seen from the Fed, one more rate hike is probably all they got in store. And I really don't see the market selling off at the idea that there's only going to be one more rate hike, right? We trade futures primarily, the future price of the market. It's going to go up if we're done basically hiking rates. Here is our unemployment and our jobless claims. It's going up, just as they said they wanted it to do. It's going exactly according to plan. If you watched the last video, we talked about what needs to happen from here, right? And it's gone up. It's been a perfect representation of what they're wanting to happen, right? They're coming out of this inflationary problem with all the right steps in place. And, you know, people can complain all they want about jobless claims. Anyone that's been trying to get a job right now, if you really want a job right now, you can get one with one phone call, right? Everywhere is hiring. So it's still kind of a weird situation, at least in my part of the woods, where getting a job right now isn't hard. Like, the company I work for, we have 8 positions open that could be filled right now with no skill people paying $30 an hour, right? So it's kind of a weird spot in the job market where they want unemployment to come up, but also the availability of jobs is still very high. And moving on to the last thing we got here is PPI. And this is what, we had this morning. And what does it show? That inflation is coming down. The demand in goods is coming down, which if demand is down, prices come down. And that's one of our main gauges of inflation. And as you can see by this 3.6 number right here, we're really making progress on inflation coming down. So overall, I mean, it kind of explains why the market, let me pull up the right chart here, why the market is all of a sudden so bullish. Well, not all of a sudden so bullish. We've kind of been in a weird range, but really I think everyone was just kind of waiting to see, is this report going to confirm our thought that, okay, we're out of the woods yet? And I don't think we're out of the woods yet. I think we still need one more release of CPI and PPI data to really confirm, is this whole inflation problem really over? And by the next report, which is the report the Fed said would be the last report that they need, we'll really know, and we'll be, bear market will be canceled. So we got one more release to go, and then, like I said, we'll be done with bear market, in my opinion, unless something absolutely wild happens. I know there's elections and whatnot coming up, so things could get crazy. And I know I was also talking about bias and why I have a bull bias and what I'm using to look at that bull bias. Well, let's go ahead and look at what I like to use. It's called Rocket Scooter. If you've been in the Discord, you see me talking about this all the time. And why I'm staying long bias, right, through all of this, even though we're at the top of this seemingly infinite range, right? You guys were watching me take longs all day today at the top of this range. Now, normally structure-wise, if you were just looking at the structure, you would want to get short. But like I said, I have a lot of conviction to go long here, and that would be Rocket Scooter. Now, I'm not endorsed by these guys. I've been using them for several years. And what this is showing me is that the market is hedged bullish. Why is that? Because hedge pressure is way above the monthly hedge pressure. And that's just showing the liquidity of monthly options versus your daily options. So as long as that is staying bullish, and this is on the QQQ, not SPY. I use QQQ for watching this because, as I've noticed over historical data here, QQQ is going to flip a lot earlier than SPY. So you will notice a bear market coming into play a lot sooner on QQQ than you will on SPY, just because the liquidity and the books are a lot thinner on QQQ. So, yes, as long as we keep every day, it continues to be bullish in the fact that HP is situated above MHP, I'm going to continue to, keep playing to the long side. Yes, we can range between HP and MHP. Yes, the market can still go down, but overall, my bias will be to the long side. And, how I play the day will also come to, how the daily options are situated with. You can see the bear zone and the bull zone. A clear setup day like this, as you all saw in the Discord, I was pretty heavy long several times. I had a lot of confidence, and it worked out. And I've put in a couple of other examples of why not. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at going forward. Is I'm going to keep playing to the long side until, the liquidity map and options flip bearish, or something shows me that we should not be towards the long side. But as far as everything goes right now with CPI, PPI, and jobless claims, everything is playing right into the Fed's hand of exactly how they wanted it to go, to be able to have our soft landing and get out of this whole inflation mess. And again, if you watched my last CPI breakdown video, the schedule of how everything's happening is almost going exactly according to plan. Now, how did I play it? Not entirely great. I wanted one more leg down on the macro side of things. I thought that this, at the time, was not the penultimate bottom, or that we would at least get one more good test of that bottom. We never did. So that extra 2/3 of my long-term position, I never really got to invest in that heavily as I wanted. I did get 1/3 of my position in about right in this area right here when we started having that massive consolidation. I talked about it. I got 1/3 of that position in, which I was pretty happy about, but I really wanted one more leg down. I was going to go in heavy with the other 2/3 of my position. I don't feel like I'm going to get that chance now. So I may just start slowly investing that on any, leg downs that we get from here on out. But kind of sad. I feel like I missed a little bit of an opportunity there, but I kept myself light enough to where if we got that next leg down, I, had more cash to invest, because that's happened to me prior, where you think that you're on the last leg down, you invest a lot of cash, you get one more, and you wish you had that cash on hand to invest. I mean, sure, I didn't make that mistake this time. I did get some there, and I had more left over for the next leg down if we got it. We didn't get it. Oh well. I can keep investing over time now. Now, that's not including my day trading money. As you guys know, it doesn't really matter what the macro looks like. I'm going to be looking at the hedge pressure situation. I'm going to be playing initial balance and, watching delta and playing those smaller levels for scalps. So the macro really doesn't affect me in that sense, but it is nice to know where you are at on the macro to give you a sense of why the market is doing what it's doing. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for tonight. Sorry for the kind of long-winded ramble there. I know I can get going fast sometimes, but I needed to get something out. Didn't really have the time to really edit something, so I figured I'd do it live, get it done, and yeah. So thanks for staying around. If you want, check out the Discord. I'm always in there. Feel free to ask me any questions, and yeah, have a good night, guys. We'll see you.